Good evening, everyone. How's everyone today? Hope your day and your week is going well. I am Dr. Bashara Wilson, and today we will be discussing meditation and we'll be doing a guided meditation. In these days and times of uncertainty, politically, financially, and just all the changes that are on the horizon and going on in the world, is so necessary that we still stay centered in who we are and not let whatever anxiety and worry and fears get to us, because over time they can have an effect on our health. And so one of the ways that we can do that is and stay centered is by doing meditation. Now, there are a lot of different types of meditation. There's silent meditation, where like classically, you may hear about Buddhist monks who are working to totally clear their mind and not have any thoughts. You could be meditating on a particular topic, like you may be working to solve a issue of some sort, and you're meditating on the problem, working to, tap into your inner self. There are meditations where you may be doing like a guide, like a visualization, where you're visualizing colors or different actions within your body. You may be doing chants. So there are all different types of meditations, and I do a balance of all of them. There's space and time for all of them, and as we become more adept in all of those things, we can, play around with it and work to get the benefit from all of those different types of ways to relax our mind with meditation. Now, the basics behind meditation: you want to focus on your breath, you want to focus on your posture, and you also want to focus on your intent, or just have focus in general. So, some of the ways, and we can actually, get started. So, one of the ways that we can simply meditate is to focus on our breath, just inhaling and exhaling. Breathing is actually pretty amazing as one of our body functions, because you know it automatically happens when we're not thinking about it. We just breathing all through our life, because breath is life. And if we ever stop breathing, then it's all over, and that's death. We can go however many days and weeks without food and water, but you go a couple minutes without air and oxygen, if you're not trained, to hold your breath for crazy long and all of that, you'll suffer hypoxia, lack of oxygen to the brain. And that can cause, the brain death in that way. And oftentimes, when folks have like a heart attack or even a stroke and they pass out, um, the brain function can stop around the breathing. And that can, when someone's in a coma, in terms of being a quote unquote vegetable, that's sorry for using that word, um, have a form of brain death. So we want to make sure that we're focusing on our breathing. All of our organs in our body need oxygen, need air to be able to function properly. And so we can do simple things where we're just inhaling to the count of four and exhaling to the count of four. So you want to inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose or through your mouth. I like to inhale and exhale through my nose. Um, and before we even fully get started with that, you want to sit upright. If you're sitting in a chair, you want to have your feet firmly planted on the ground, where you're feeling that even balance of your feet on the ground, your sit bones um, firmly, balanced under your butt on the chair. You want to be sitting with your back straight but relaxed. Your shoulders can be slightly rounded, or some folks may pull their shoulders back, but you can relax and have your shoulders slightly rounded, your head extended to the sky. You want to feel like there's a hook coming out, like the top of your head, as if you were just kind of hanging limp. How your body would just naturally fall into alignment if if a hook from the top of your head or a string was pulling you straight up to the sky. How would your posture adjust to that? And that's our basic posture that we want to have. um, and then we want to focus on being present into our body. One of the first things that we can do after we get our posture is take a couple deep breaths. So we want to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. And so we really want to settle in that. And just off of that, you might feel your body and your energy starting to settle. And even your body might even start to feel more, bioelectrically magnetic and kind of feeling kind of heavy in that way. And so you want to continue breathing, inhaling and exhaling at your own pace. And when you're breathing and inhaling and exhaling, your focus then becomes on your breath and not everything that's going on in your mind. This is a great way to clear your mind when you're having thoughts that you don't necessarily want to be thinking, or recurring thoughts, or creating a whole scenario in your head about what happened or what could happen, or playing out a situation that doesn't even exist, and then reacting to that instead of playing that game, oftentimes fruitless game, with yourself. Let's play the game of focusing on our breath. And even as I'm talking right now, that's something that you can be doing. You can be focusing just on inhaling and exhaling. And I find this is a great thing to do even in conversations. It helps me to be present minded when I'm in a conversation, because I'm, looking at the person and listening to them and focusing on my breath. And so everything that they're saying is actually registering in my head, as opposed to something that they say sends me off spiraling into my own thoughts around whatever I think about what they're saying. And then I lose pace with what they're working to communicate. And it breaks that link and that bond. And it also helps to stop me from telling people, like, I'll let folks know if I zone out. I'll be like, my bad, I zoned out, can you repeat that? And most people, people are repeated. But in order to prevent that and also be fully present, I want to focus on my breath, because communication with other people is a dance. We want to be fully listening to them, so that when it's time for us to respond, if we need to respond, um, we'll respond effectively. And so, one way to do that is to focus on your breath and focus on your posture, and then that becomes your focus. Another thing that we can do is that we can slowly relax our body from either the top to the bottom, from your top of your head to the bottom of your feet, or from your feet all the way up to the top of your head. So we can start with the ground and feel your feet on the ground. Are you holding any of your toes tight? Are you holding your feet tight, or is your ankles tight? Are you And just relax your toes and relax your feet. Relax your calf muscles. Relax your thighs and your hamstrings. If you're holding any tension in your glutes and your butt, relax your butt muscles. Relax your reproductive organs if you're holding any tension there. Relax your stomach and your chest. Relax your lower back and your upper back. Relax your shoulders, your upper arm, your biceps, and your triceps, your forearms and your hands. Bring your focus to your neck and relax your neck. Relax your face muscles and your scalp. If you need to adjust your posture, you can go ahead and do that. You don't want to be sitting stiff because that stiffness can also stagnate the flow of your body's chi and blood. And continue to inhale and exhale. And so within that, that's one way and to realize where we can be holding tightness. Sometimes even while I was sitting here talking, I realized I was holding my shoulders up because, whatever, I was just into what I was saying. And as I got there, I realized I needed to relax my shoulders. And for me, I can tend to hunch over. So I'm constantly relaxing my neck and bringing my neck up, like we said in the beginning. If you're imagining a string out of the top of the middle of your head, pulling you up and kind of dangling you off the ground, how would your posture just fall in line? And that's the way that we want to sit. That's the way that we want to walk when we can, and hold that posture and that breath. And so every moment becomes a meditation. From my experience, when I work to stay in that meditative space where I'm just breathing and focusing on my breath and really working to keep a certain level of silence in my mind, um, when I'm not meditating on a particular thing of work, what I'm working to figure out, and working to keep that silence, I find that if in that space, my inner voice kicks in and my intuition can kick in and give me guidance on different things. And so when I act on that, it's always on point. And so, um, working to breathe and focus and relax the mind and stay in that silent place allows me to tap into my inner self in that way. And however that manifest for you in terms of your own quote unquote superpower, to use that term, um, works to happen in that space. And so when we're in that space, the mind becomes like a calm pond. And, if you're ever at a lake or a pond and you take a pebble and you throw it out into that pond, it hits the water and ripples across, the waves ripple across. And so our thoughts are the same way. When we're in that silence, we can send out our intentions. And that's when it's time to be thoughtful to send out that intention. Or one of the things that I like to focus on is focusing on the intention of the highest good. And for me to work to be in tune with that in any situation. And so when we're thinking about a whole bunch of things, the mind is like a rushing, like an ocean where it's waves splashing all over the place. You could throw a brick in there, it'll plunk, and the next wave will just knock it right over. Where when we calm the mind, we can drop that pebble in and it kind of will reverberate throughout the universe and have that clear path to go towards whatever we're intending to happen or to manifest or to experience. So within that too is when you can send out those affirmations. And when we send out affirmations, we always want to send out positive affirmations of what we want to happen and not negative affirmations. So, um, instead of, we want to say, um, I have abundance, as opposed to, um, I'm tired of being, I don't want to be poor or whatever, or I don't want to be broke. We want to say, I manifest abundance, I manifest health, or I am health, I am drawing, um, whatever types of modalities and the people and the things that I need to be at my best, as opposed to, I don't want to be sick. So we can do affirmations like, I am love, I am joy, I am happiness, I am honor, I am respect, I am kind, I am open, I am fair, I am gentle, I am creative. I draw everything that's good to me. And we want to stay on that positive, way of affirming. It's that glass is half full or the glass is half empty. when it's half full, we're moving on our way up to fullness. And when it's half empty, we're moving on our way to emptiness and not having any water in the cup. So I want my cup abundant, and I want my cup flowing over. And my cup is abundant and flowing over. So, yes. All right. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. If you have any comments, please drop those in the comment section. Um, Another meditation that we can do is on our chakras. Our chakras are like our energy centers in the body, and they're commonly, thought of with the seven chakras. But when you add in all of the different acupuncture points and other areas in the body, there are more. But there's seven common chakras within our body. The location where they are located is in the same area where our endocrine glands are. And our endocrine glands are responsible for releasing different types of hormones in the body that relate to all the different functions in our body. So we have our reproductive um, organs in terms of our testes and the ovaries. Um, we have the adrenal glands, the pancreas, the thymus, the thyroid, the pituitary gland, and the pineal gland. And so we're going to go through all of the different chakras and breathing into these areas. Um, so again, hope you're still breathing and relaxing. If everybody, y'all should be real chilled out and take this energy with you. And I'm feeling it through the camera, and y'all see I'm feeling because I'm meditating and relaxing with you all. So again, assume the position, get your posture on, um, in terms of sitting up straight, pulling that hook up through the top of your head, and feeling that energy flowing um, in that way up through, we're pulling up through the center of the earth, pulling all of that energy up, and also pulling that energy down through the top of our head, from like the pole star, the North Star. And we're also bringing energy from this earth level into our third eye. So from the bottom of your feet, from your third eye, and through the top of your head, bringing energy in from all of those different ways while you're breathing and focusing. And that's actually a meditation in itself. So feel your feet centered on the ground. And for that first chakra, we want to focus right up under our perineum, which is basically that area right behind um, right behind your genitals, so behind your scrotum in men, and right behind the opening of the vaginal canal for women, in between the base of our reproductive organs and your anus. That area there, you want to kind of focus in that area and bring your attention there, bring your mind's eye to that area, and you want to take a breath down into that first chakra, into that area. So inhale all the way down in through your nose and exhale out. We'll do another one. Inhale all the way down and exhale out. Actually, one more. Inhale all the way down and exhale out. Now, with that, you might feel like a heaviness in that area. And what's great about meditation, wherever your intention goes, your energy flows. And so, whatever imbalances and healing that needs to go on in that area, the body and just universal balances going to that area. Next, we want to bring it up to the second chakra, which is right behind your navel and slightly below, about an inch or so below, or you can put just right behind your navel. And we want to inhale down to your navel area, like your lower stomach on the inside, and exhale. Inhale down to your navel and exhale. Inhale down to your navel and exhale. Next, we're going to bring it up to our solar plexus. Your solar plexus is about halfway between your navel and the bottom of your rib cage. So if you go to the base of your rib cage where that V kind of meets there, and your navel about halfway there is where your solar plexus is. So we want to inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale, inhale and exhale. We're live, so we're kind of moving through it, kind of quickly, but you can really take your time and breathe in really slowly and deeply into each area. For time's sake, we're going to just kind of go through the rest of them. We're going to bring it up next to your heart chakra, which is right in the center of your chest between your two nipples. And that's also the location of your thymus gland, which has a strong effect on like your immune system. So we want to inhale into that heart chakra, like I say, between your nipples, halfway, right in the center of your chest. And exhale, inhale, and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Next, you're going to bring it up to your throat chakra, which is where your thyroid gland is, your throat chakra, right here in the area, right in the center of your neck, right in the area for men where the Adam's apple is, or right there. So you want to inhale to your throat and exhale, inhale to your throat again, and exhale. One more time, inhale and exhale. Next, we want to bring your energy up to your third eye, which is right in between your two eyebrows here in the center of your head there, which is going to your pituitary gland. So you want to inhale and exhale to your third eye. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. A lot of times you'll hear folks talk about decalcifying the pineal gland. You need to decalcify all your organs and endocrine glands. And so next and lastly, we want to bring it up to the top of our heads, and we want to inhale right through that same area, like halfway between your ears, like the top of your ears, right to the top of your head. You want to focus there, and that is related to your pineal. Yes, to your pineal gland. So you want to inhale and exhale. Inhale to the top of your head and exhale. Inhale and exhale. So yes, we went, relatively quickly through that. But if you need, refresher on that, I'll say, I'm sure there are plenty of videos on that, and even other just pictures of the location of the chakras. And that's a great meditation to do anytime during the day. But when you wake up in the morning, before you get out of bed, and also before you go to bed, it's a nice way to help the body to rebalance and re-energize as you sleep. It'll help your body to recalibrate in that way, and different hormones that need to be released to balance out different functions, whether it's mental health, reproductive health, um, your metabolism, your energy level. All of these things are going to be helped and assisted, with that meditation. With that, also through this, you may feel your body now really relaxed. You may feel your body even like heavy or reverberating and just um, vibrating with chi. And so, with that, one way that we work to bring it back to a balance is we want to inhale back down to the navel there and take a couple deep breaths back down to the navel. And then you can just kind of chill and relax into that. So, yes, so that is about that. So, um, yeah, that's. I know everybody should be really chilled and relaxed. I know I am. Um, Thanks everybody tuning in on all of the different platforms on YouTube and Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram. Let's see, Nick Nick Levon. She says, would you recommend a particular type of breathwork exercise to address sleeplessness? That chakra meditation that we did can help with that. Um, we also want to turn off these phones, the blue light and stuff, um, a good hour or so before going to bed. You can also do that progressive relaxation where you're relaxing your body from your head to your toes. Um, and some of that should also help to relax the body. And there are also different herbs and things that we can do for that too. Thank you for the question. Again, I am Dr. Bashar Wilson. I'm a doctor of acupuncture and Chinese medicine or Eastern medicine, specializing in pain relief for athletes in terms of any type of injury, and also, your everyday injuries from just being active, work related injuries, accidents, anything dealing around muscular skeletal imbalances. And in my private practice, New York Sports Acupuncture, um, been practicing in I think in private practice now since around 2003. And so, and then on all platforms, Dr. Bashar Wilson. So if you're on Instagram, the replay will be available on YouTube. And, YouTube, you can catch all of my past lives on there too. To make an appointment to create a health plan to help you to reach all of your health goals, not just with acupuncture, but with lifestyle, things like this, the meditation, diet, nutritional supplements, herbs, other changes that you need to make to your everyday living. You can give me a call at 888 375 5444. That's my answering service. So if you just leave a message there, I'll get back to you ASAP, or you can even send me a direct message. And if you one of my clients or you know me like that, send me a text message and we can, get on the phone and talk about your health goals and how we can get you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach those goals once and for all. My website is New York Sports Acupuncture. A lot of great information there on acupuncture, herbs, nutrition, and all of these different things. Lastly, my website where you can get some of my herbs. It's called manifestherbs.com, where herbs is actually what brought me into this field in the first place. So they're nice, some stress relief herbs on there on the website. There's some energy herbs there on the website. We've been talking about the spring as the liver season. There are some There's a liver care formula on there, detox, colon cleanse, everything that you can possibly imagine. If you need something that's not on there, I also do personalized formulas. So you can call me again at the 888-375-5444 number, and we can schedule an appointment there where we can create a health plan for you. So if there isn't anything else, I would like to say thanks again, everybody, for tuning in, and get your breath on, get your meditation on, so that you can relax and stay centered and hear that inner voice for whatever your next move that you need to make. So on that, everybody, take care, and I will see you next time. Peace.